Doomsday, the ultimate life form. He can kill any creature, he can survive in any environment. He's the ultimate weapon of destruction. And man, does he love to just fight. I mean, when they needed to come up with something to kill Superman, like one of the most powerful heroes ever, well, they thought up this guy. That's the entire premise behind Doomsday to begin with. With a monster like that, you just know it has to be powerful. It has to be ridiculously powerful. But I guess the question is just how powerful? Just how powerful is Doomsday? Really? Well, today that's what we're going to figure out. Let's get into it. Well, before we get into it, make sure you go subscribe. Only 20% of y'all are subscribed, so make sure you go change that, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications. Help us out a ton, and plus you get to see awesome videos every single day. And if you already are subscribed, well, you are the absolute best. You're amazing. So just keep on killing it. Now, let's get it. Doomsday is essentially the living embodiment of death. Darkseid himself called him death personified. And with accolades like that, you gotta be impressive. So, what exactly can Doomsday do? Well, great question. I'm glad you asked. And Doomsday can do quite a few things. And that mostly means his strength and his durability. Doomsday is really going to wow you with his ability to throw a punch, just leave you a bloodied mess after just a few hits. Then he's going to take absolutely everything you can throw at him, not even be phased by any of it. Superman said that Doomsday could rip the planet in half if he really wanted to. And man, he's sent Supergirl flying. He's knocked around Wonder Woman. He's overpowered both Orion and Martian Manhunter. John said that he's never been hit as hard as he's been hit by Doomsday. He's even taken down the whole Justice League before. I mean, Doomsday has trounced the League all by himself. And then there have been all his fights against Superman. He's punched Superman like he's never been hit before. He can hit harder than anybody else Superman has fought. And Doomsday just continues to get stronger and stronger as they fight. I mean, there was a reason why they created this guy back in the 90s in the comics. It was literally to kill Superman, to be stronger, to be more powerful than Superman. And man, has he shown that over the years. He might even shown he's more powerful than Superman's ultimate villain, Darkseid. He fought against Darkseid, overpowered Darkseid, beat Darkseid all up, just trashed the guy and left him for dead. Literally left him on the verge of death where he could barely stand, and Superman had to step in and save the guy's life. That's how bad Doomsday beat Darkseid, the Lord of Apocalypse. Yeah, Doomsday is no joke. And while Doomsday is clearly strong, well, he's also just as tough. Nothing you throw at him is going to be able to put him down. At least not put him down for forever. He's taken attacks from Wonder Woman, from Martian Manhunter, from a lot of Kryptonians, from Superman himself. He's taken punches from Superman before where Clark said he was hitting him with everything he's got. He's taken thousands of punches from Superman all in an instant. He's been sent flying around and landing all over the place by Superman on just a semi-regular basis. And Doomsday constantly just refuses to go down. The guy just doesn't quit. It took literally everything that Superman had in him to put Doomsday down the first time around. It literally killed him. And it's not just like punches and kicks, although Doomsday can definitely obviously take those. He's also taken Superman's heat vision, blasts from Green Lanterns, Orion's energy beams, a guardian from the universe went full on kamikaze on him. Like the end of Independence Day, he's gonna sacrifice his life to put down the big guy once and for all. You know what? It just barely put Doomsday out. He came back a little while later. Even Darkseid's Omega beams were enough to put Doomsday down for like maybe a few seconds. Just enough time for Darkseid to turn around to get a few steps away, and then Doomsday is right back there just scratching up his back. Doomsday took a blast a million times bigger than a nuclear bomb and was just laughing moments later. And you can't even really beat Doomsday with speed either. Nope. I mean, Superman himself already kind of tried that strategy. It didn't really work. It wasn't enough to put Doomsday down. Second, Doomsday is like scary fast. He's the kind of guy that has all his stats maxed out: strength, durability, and speed. He's blitzed Superman before and some other heroes before too. Booster Gold even called him faster than the Flash. But what does Booster Gold know? But he's caught attacks from Wonder Woman. Superman has had to go all out before and really push himself to not just keep up with Doomsday's strength, but also his speed. And then he's even got the Flash while the Flash was running. Now, granted, he caught the Flash off guard. It's not like he was actually out reacting Wally, but still, Doomsday is crazy fast. It's actually probably his most underrated aspect. And here's the real kicker: Doomsday quite literally cannot be killed. He cannot be permanently put down. He's always going to keep on coming back. No matter what you throw at him, no matter what you send his way, you can even straight up kill him. Doomsday is still going to keep on coming back. Doomsday has literally evolved past death. Death is just a temporary thing for him. He'll always come back from it, no matter what. And he gets more and more powerful each time. He evolves with each death that he goes through, so that he can't be killed the same way twice. And since there's only a finite number of ways to kill Doomsday, it makes sense that at some point along the way, we're just gonna run out of ways to continue killing Doomsday. One day, somewhere along the way here, he's just gonna be truly unkillable. Literally nothing is gonna be able to stop him. But you wanna know something funny? Like, I'm repping Doomsday here. I'm for Doomsday. I am pro Doomsday. This is a pro Doomsday video. This is a pro Doomsday YouTube channel. Okay, did I cover all my bases? Am I safe now? Because here's the thing: I actually think Doomsday is a little bit overrated sometimes. He might not be quite as powerful as we make him out to be. Now, hear me out. Doomsday is still insanely powerful. It's just that pretty much all of his best stuff comes from the Hunter Prey storyline. Like, let's do a little study here. Let's divide Doomsday up into eras. OG Doomsday, right after his creation, was a pretty powerful monster. This was when he was created on Krypton thousands of years ago by a scientist named Bertrand as just a living weapon of mass destruction. It was basically done by creating a hybrid, leaving it out in the wilderness, letting it die and be killed, and then using its genetic material to make an even more powerful clone of that hybrid before it. This went on countless times. Doomsday was killed countless times. It went through millions of years of evolution and basically a few decades. And that's how we got this guy. He killed several Green Lanterns. It was only somewhat stopped by Guardian sacrificing himself. But this version of Doomsday died when he fought the Radiant, though. In fact, the Radiant killed him so badly that Doomsday spent like the following millennia healing, drifting through space, and eventually falling to Earth. And when he woke up in the present day, well, this is where we got Death of Superman. And he was still pretty powerful, even slightly stronger than Superman was at the time. Now, he fought a trash tier version of the Justice League, some real C and D heroes, and kicked their butts. Supergirl was one-shotted here, arguably Doomsday's best feat in the story arc. and Superman was forced to fight him to the last breath just to avoid human casualties. In the end, we saw pretty clearly that Superman was not as strong as Doomsday. He had occasional help during the fight, but he was strong enough to mostly hang with him in a fight, going as far as breaking some of Doomsday's bones and messing up his face. Sometime later, though, Doomsday came back in Hunter Prey. That's where all the hype around him comes from. At that point, Superman's powers were starting to really increase and reach the levels he's known for. But there's one problem with this storyline, and that's the fact that the writer, Dan Jorgens, has some pretty strong opinions regarding power scaling. Did I say strong opinions? Because you can also just mean wrong opinions. He openly admitted in an interview that he considers Darkseid to be a physically weak villain. So therefore, he wrote Doomsday kicking Darkseid's butt unapologetically. That inconsistency aside, though, Doomsday does have some other very impressive feats throughout the arc. He killed the Radiant, the guy who originally defeated him. And then Superman amped himself with a mother box and had help from Wave Rider. And Doomsday was still comfortably winning the fight. Doomsday was still not absolutely unstoppable or just unthinkably powerful, though. Remember in Avengers Endgame where Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor fought against Thanos? That's about how this fight went too. Doomsday is still comfortably winning, but not by an absolutely insane degree. Next up was the Doomsday Wars. That's when Brainiac transferred his mind into Doomsday's body and kicked the real Justice League's butt. Possibly Doomsday's absolute best feat, just if we ignore the fact that it was Brainiac in control. And then came Our Worlds at War. Here, Doomsday was mind controlled into thinking Imperiex was Superman, and Doomsday was set free to destroy dozens of Imperiex probes. Another contender for probably his best feat ever. I mean, just one probe is enough to fight against Superman, almost beat Superman, and Doomsday is ripping through tons of these things. But once Doomsday faced the real Imperiex, though, he was killed, reduced to a smoking skeleton in a single attack. And Doomsday died, like, for real. For real, for real. So even at his most powerful, his limits were pretty clear, all things considered. And here's the thing, after dying at Imperix's hands, Doomsday never really returned to his previous level of power. Just a few issues later, he came back. He was cloned by Lex Luthor, and this became the standard Doomsday going forward. And Superman kicked his butt alone. He came back in Infinite Crisis, and Superman beat him in just a few moments. Cyborg Superman fought him equally. Several Kryptonians beat him to death. After the Imperiex encounter, Doomsday became a much less eventful enemy. But that's not to say that Doomsday isn't insanely powerful. He is, 100%. This monster is a Superman killer. He's a Justice League buster. I don't think many heroes are going to be able to survive an encounter one-on-one with him. He's still one of the best, one of the strongest, one of the most powerful villains out there. He's still going to be most any hero's Doomsday.